Dricus du Plessis may have given us one of the greatest sound bites from a press conference this year. Thank goodness Dana White was not here, because Dana White 100% would have stepped in the moment Dricus du Plessis said anything mean about his golden boy Israel Adesanya, and then he probably would have said something like, well, I know Israel does stuff with dogs, but John Jones is the greatest fighter to ever live. And then would be sidetracked for 15 minutes, okay? They probably have him in a straitjacket right now, just going wild in his closet because his wife was sick and tired of hearing him talking about John. But anyways, enough thoughts at John Jones. We're going to be talking about Dricus du Plessis absolutely 10-7ing Israel Adesanya with some of my favorite lines of this press conference. However, I have to skip to all the way to 1738, purely because this press conference was boring, okay? Steve Erceg, how do you feel about fighting here? Have you ever fought here before? Yeah, no. I'm convinced that 90% of the journalists here are powered by ChatGPT. There is absolutely no way you think asking a fighter, how do you feel about fighting in Australia for the 7th time is a good idea. Yeah, I'm done. I don't hate all of you MMA journalists, but most of you guys, stop using ChatGPT. Okay, 1738, Dricus du Plessis was just asked about motivation. He said, I'm motivated by legacy, not a personal grudge, because Adesanya said multiple times he's motivated by Dricus. Which, it was a good line, that's all you gotta know, but we're getting to the good stuff. We're going volume up on this.
And to Izzy, do you have a response?
When did I become the underdog?
You know, it's a pick'em. It's very...
You can see that motherfucker was waiting. Let's go.
Nobody said anything about dogs, bro. Chill out.
Thank you. Dog, how is it that Dricus went at Adesanya more for the dog stuff than Strickland? I am convinced at this point, and I've said this multiple times, I have a lot of stuff to say about this press conference because it has given me a realization about Adesanya's career that a lot of people are not going to be happy about. But Dricus du Plessis said what we wanted Strickland to say. I'm convinced they paid Strickland off not to say anything.
I said that. Better shut the fuck up before I go get my coach's taser.
Yes! Dude. If I had to sum up this entire press conference, it was Dricus du Plessis little broing. Dude, this sounds like my little brother when I say a line that roasts him. He can't come up with a response, so he just immediately goes to, shut the fuck up. That's how you know you got cooked, brother. Dricus, look how happy he is, dude. Good on Dricus today, dude. Okay, oh yeah, and I'm just gonna get ahead of it. The people that are saying, oh, Dricus went too far. Where were all of you when Dricus made fun of Strickland for getting beaten by his alcoholic father? I'm sorry, it was drop the moral superiority. You were laughing at an abused child. I don't have a problem with either or when we're talking about a press conference because I think if I can legally fight you, if I can commit the illegal action of assault on you in a sport, we should be allowed to trash talk each other. Dricus gets full reign here. Done. Look at Adesanya is flustered right now, okay? And look at John Anik over here. Look at, I love this. I love this, dude. I love this man.
As well. Fucking save your balls. When did I become the underdog?
You're not the underdog.
Okay, wait. What does this mean? How do I make money off myself?
I mean, you bet on yourself like you always have, right?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
Wait, I remember you.
I do apologize, I will say. I missed the question.
It's all good, no worries.
You see how awkward this press conference was? Like, Adesanya failed. Okay, this, I don't want to spoil the conclusion I've come to, but all I'm going to say is Adesanya's press conference, I hate to say this again because I feel like I've been saying it a lot. I feel like I'm getting brain rot. The aura of Adesanya at press conferences has to be one of the most overrated things in MMA history. I'm going to say this and it'll be a hook to the end of the video. Adesanya cannot trash talk anybody who can even remotely speak English.
Questions?
I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you. To Mateo Scamrot,
Who cares about Mateus?
Kami género, simple.
So, Mateus, nobody cares. We moved over you because you can't sell shit. I'm sorry, Mateus. You actually seem like a great dude. I hope you win against Dan Hooker, but bro, can you please just become more marketable to save your career?
Brother, you're in shooting distance of the.
You. Good luck this weekend, man. We appreciate it.
Culturally, you know, this has been made about culture.
Oh, okay. I am glad that they're going into this and they're viewing it from the proper lens. The cultural African king, ethnicity African king. I've been covering this with a microscope because I have to mind my P's and Q's with how I talk about this, okay? I'm sorry, that's the day and age that we're in. And I have! Dog, Dricus is in the right here. It was always about culture. It was never about ethnicity. Okay? And the whole reason that I side with Dricus as ferociously as I do on this is because Adesanya talked shit about Robert Whittaker in the first fight for representing Australia when he was born in New Zealand and called him a traitor to his home people. Dog, you threw away the Nigerian flag the moment that China told you that it was unmarketable. That's a real thing, by the way. I forget what the amount of money was, but it was considerably low. Like a considerable low amount of money to throw away your heritage. I don't have a problem with that as long as you don't try to be this stickler for, oh, well, you need to represent where you were born. You don't. What are you talking about? Be quiet, dude. You are not the person that we should be talking to about representing. You're not the guy, pal. Trust me. Dricus, I'm just going to say it. Half of the people that have a problem with what Dricus said either aren't from Africa at all. I actually haven't heard anybody that's from Africa, and I know it doesn't seem it. I got people from South Africa that watch my content. Nobody from South Africa has ever said something bad about Dricus. No, granted, Dricus is one of the 5 celebrities that your country has, so whatever. But the people who have a problem with this are like Charlemagne. And I'm sorry, that podcast is brain rot. And the only reason that he was against it on Dricus is he thought Dricus was talking about race. If we're talking culturally, Dricus is the best representative of Africa outside of Francis. I disagree with Dricus on what he said about Francis Ngannou. The reason that Francis didn't bring, he did bring the belt back. I don't agree with what Dricus said about Francis. But Francis hasn't said anything about this, so that's all I'm going to say. Francis couldn't represent Cameroon because there wasn't the infrastructure to keep an MMA gym open in Cameroon. Dricus was talking about Kamaru Usman, who, to be fair, Kamaru Usman was born in Nebraska. Well, not born in Nebraska. He lives in Nebraska. His name was Marty. He changed his name to become more marketable. The Nigerian Nightmare. His name wasn't the Nigerian Nightmare for a while. It's a marketing thing. MMA is a business. That's what you got to understand. He went against Israel Adesanya because of, one, he sold off his heritage because it wasn't marketable. He represented Nigeria for 2 fights in the UFC and then represented New Zealand, which is what we're talking about. He's representing the country that he trains from. Stop purposely taking it out of context because you're losing the argument. This was turned into an ethnicity and a race thing because Adesanya was losing the argument and Ariel Helwani wanted to get some clicks. But I'm sorry.
We don't make it about culture, but, someone made it about culture.
Amen.
So here we are.
He made it about culture because you lose in every other argument. It was about culture from the get-go. The whole reason that you changed it to ethnicity is that's the only way that you could even somewhat win the argument. But I would actually argue that's worse because you threw away your heritage for a paycheck. I'm like, you're purposely, The
question for you is, I grew up, my parents were in Nigeria. They obviously moved to a country as well to better themselves. When you win the belt again, do you plan on taking it back to Africa again?
On Tuesday, I'm going back to Nigeria. I think Friday.
You notice how he brings out the Nigeria bit whenever it works for him? He didn't talk about Nigeria when he was fighting Alex Pereira. He didn't talk about Nigeria when he was fighting Robert Whittaker the second time. He didn't talk about Nigeria when he was fighting Marvin Vettori, Yoel Romero. Nigeria was never even brought up. It really wasn't. From what we know, what has been publicly shown to the public, He took the belt back to Nigeria after he won the title because it was a part of the marketing of I represent Nigeria and New Zealand. When he was defending the title, he never went back to Nigeria to bring it to the people. Like that the reason that Dricus has a problem with that is, like it or not, Dricus has done more for the country of South Africa than Israel Adesanya has done for Nigeria. Like, you can disagree with that. That's what has been done.
Friday, I'm going to South Africa, and then the next week I'm going back to New Zealand. I'm
just thinking about this. Israel Adesanya, why didn't you make your swords the Nigerian flag? Dricus did. Dricus made his swords the South African flag. You want to make this about, heritage, culture versus ethnicity. Make your swords Nigeria. Like, you would have stood in a way better chance with ammunition that you could counter Dricus with. Dricus is one of the most patriotic person for the country of South Africa I've ever seen. Look at his fucking coat. It has the South African flag on his sleeve, dude. Like, you're not going to out-Africa Captain South Africa over here.
a child of the earth. I'm a child of the earth. And when I take this bet, I'm taking it everywhere with me.
That's one of the cringiest things I've ever heard.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Question over here.
Are you taking the servants with you when you're going back?
Thank you. Thank you, Dricus. Okay? I hate that it took this long for a fellow fighter to talk about the servants. Okay? Nobody except for Marvin Vettori talked about the tit. Nobody but Strickland was talking about the dog up until this point. And Dricus, within a 23-minute press conference, over the span of 2 minutes, okay, has brought up the dog stuff and the servant stuff. Another thing that Israel Adesanya has been caught in lying in is he cosplays poverty. I'm sorry. I understand. I'm starting to sound like MMA Guru. I will take what MMA Guru says, and I will look into it myself. I have. He's right. He is. No. Israel Adesanya has legitimately been caught in a lie about his past. Okay? Adesanya grew up with servants. That's a fact. Everybody in his family confirms this. You can look, there's footage of this still up. You can look up the very first interview that Israel Adesanya did. He was talking about a character-defining moment in his life as he learned how to bathe when he was 8 years old because he told his servants no. Okay? And he's trying to relate to people in poverty, which, I'm sorry, I don't understand. You don't have to have a superhero-level backstory to relate with people from a country. I think that's infinitely worse at, I have to be poor to understand people coming from Nigeria. No, they're just people, dude. You don't have to do all that. That's too much. But, Dricus grew up in a suburb, and he is loved by South Africa, bro.
Are you taking the servants with you? Have you going back?
What the fuck are you even on about?
My God. It's obviously a see and tell. We can see that. What do you mean? You're saying that...
That's the only part I don't like. Dricus could have stood on this and further go in. It's just why don't you tell him how you have to walk 2 hours to go get water from a well? Oh, wait, that never happened. Why don't you talk about the fact that you had servants until you were 8 years old? Talk about the fact that you were high middle class living in Nigeria, but you told people that you were poor. Talk about the fact that you said that the people from the favelas are more likely to follow you than Alex Pereira, who moved to the favelas for a better life. That's how bad he was off. Dricus should have used this to just throw ammunition, because he has something that Israel Adesanya cannot counter. I'm sorry. This is argument number one, debate number one, okay? The moment somebody... responding to your dig at them, responds with something along the lines of, shut up, be quiet, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about, and they can't come back with a claim, that's where you hit, bro. You gotta stand on that and throw it in. I don't like that Dricus didn't stand on business at this point.
Bro, shut the fuck up. You don't even know anything about my story. You have no idea who the fuck I am.
I don't care about your story.
I do like that. Understand, the one thing that Dricus has proven in these press conferences... Oh my gosh, Discord, shut up. Damn, it was on the 8th one I had to close it. Where was my train of thought? Okay, Dricus, the one thing that he's done that's been surprisingly effective this entire time is how effective just a little broing Adesanya is. Oh, you want to say some cringy line about TikTok? Okay, whatever the hell that is. You want to talk about Power Rangers Super Mega Force? Okay, I don't know what the fuck that is. You want to talk about Naruto? I don't care, I'm a grown man. Like, Dricus has proven that the best way to beat Adesanya in a press conference is to just little bro every single thing that he says. Like, I am amazed by how effective this is. This actually messes with Adesanya. To the point of tears.
I don't care about your stuff.
Listen, my father and myself had to wake up at 4 a.m. and clean the banks while my mom studies to be a nurse. You don't know my fucking story.
Man,
Don't fucking speak of my story if you don't know my story.
I don't care.
I will show you who you are Sunday. So right now, shut the fuck up.
I can't wait.
Bye unless you can see.
You're talking about, I made it about anything else.
You did.
Being
You
the
did.
first
Even
You got him, bro. We got, like, I'm sorry. Like, Adesanya could win the fight. Adesanya stands a really good chance against Dricus du Plessis. I think stylistically this is a pick-em in my eyes. Dricus took away the aura of Adesanya in press conferences. The fact is I don't think Adesanya wins a press conference against anybody ever again. This is a bad look, bro. You got flustered because he just minorly said, I don't give a shit about your story. Here's the thing. I like, in this point, I get it. Like, yeah, no, just, I don't care, bro. We're gonna fight. You've attacked me. You've attacked me for my beliefs on my cultural heritage. You've called me a colonizer. You've talked bad about my fam. Like, at this point, if I am Dricus, yeah, I'd probably say the same thing. I don't care, brother. You have actively attacked me on every front. You have taken what I've said out of context. You want to talk about, he made it a culture thing. It wasn't originally. It was always about culture. That is why, because if we change it to anything else, Adesanya has a point to be made. And Adesanya hates that.
couldn't even respect the people of the land.
I am the
Fuck
first.
the country. You were the one not even doing anything. I took my shoes off to connect with the people, with the mob. What did you do? You stand there trying to mean mug me. Are you stupid?
My man.
I'm not your fucking man, bitch.
This is my land.
Oh, shit. Just not that. You're gonna do what I did? Take as the first residing African. That was
Sounds
exactly
silly.
it.
You
You
sound
never
like a
change
fucking
that.
pig.
You can't change
I'll-
that.
Yeah, okay. He is. Dricus is the first residing African champion. Like, he is. Now, I would put Cameroon as... I would put Francis as the first, but that was extenuating circumstances. Dricus is number 2. Kamaru Usman's... Like, that's pretty much been admitted to, that the Nigerian Nightmare stuff was more of a marketing thing. I don't even hate that. Like it is what it is. I get... Bilal Muhammad was born in Chicago. Everybody thinks he was born in the UAE. No, bro, Bilal Muhammad is an American from Chicago. It's a marketing thing. I get it. Like, it's weird because I feel bad for Adesanya here because he really has no ammunition he can hit Dricus with. He really doesn't. Dricus at this point, I think, is like, I did not expect that to work that good. And there's like this flustered bit of like, I just made Adesanya cry. Now, I feel bad, but like, it is what it is.
I slay you, porky
Impossible.
pig. Shut up, pink fit.
You can't change the facts, but you can't change those facts.
I mean, he stood on that part. I agree with Dricus on that. Now, bro, he looks so fucking sad. Dude, the Guru ammunition did come in clutch on this one, I got to admit. I know Guru's like trying to survive whatever sickness that he has, wish him the best of luck and health. Bro, your ammunition came in clutch. I got to give you credit on that. He won this press conference, bro.
You got one more?
One more question for Ty. Ty, obviously you're coming off a couple losses. You've had a
To Sydney Blues on. You fought to get on this card in Perth. The voice of this, and that's it. Could Dricus fight? Yeah. How has this energy from Dricus today and the build-up? How's the energy from Dricus today and into the build-up? How's it matched to what you manifested and imagined leading into this?
Oh my gosh, the manifest stuff is the cringiest stuff. Like, I thought UFC fighters were going to stop saying that when Luke Rockhold said that he was manifesting a victory against Michael Bisping, and that, no, conceive, believe, achieve. And then Michael Bisping came in, concede, believe, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm amazed that fighters are still using that line. Because I'm sorry, it's eventually going to go bad.
And what are you feeling right now from the energy in the room?
He touched the subject there, because I do this for my family. I do this for the people I love, and I'll fight for you forever. I swear to God. Watch this. I'm a fucking human being. I am a man. I can cry and whoop your ass at the same time.
That's a pretty good line to end with. Like, I think... Okay. Now my final point on this, I just gotta say this. Adesanya cannot trash talk anybody that can speak English. I'm just gonna be real here. The two people who could speak English that he had a press conference with were Strickland and Dricus. Robert Whittaker's too nice. It is what it is. Marvin Vettori can't articulate for shit. Alex Pereira doesn't speak English, but if he did, he would have destroyed Adesanya in the press conference. Yoel Romero can't speak English. He's broken. And then, yeah, everybody else, Paulo Coelho, yeah. Adesanya cannot win a press conference to save his life. The whole reason that people thought he had like a good aura in it, damn it, he had like a good presence about him in press conferences is because he was trash-talking people who don't speak English as their first language, or people that are just too nice to talk shit back, like Robert Whittaker and Calvin Gastelum. The moment somebody hits him back with anything above like a lukewarm tone, we get waterworks. He came into the Strickland press conference with sunglasses on. Yeah, no, bro. You were going to have the waterworks if Strickland even decided to go slightly above room temperature. Dricus hit you with pot socks that I'm surprised hit as hard as they did. And I think Dricus is also surprised, and you lost a press conference. But there you go, bro. Dricus du Plessis gives us a great moment from the UFC 305 press conference. Thank goodness Dana White was not there. He would have spoiled the fun. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for everybody who continues to support the channel. And I will see you all next time. Adios.